For some natural number n, assume that n factorial is divisible by n factorial factorial, where n is also a natural number. Which of the following statement is definitely correct? First, see one thing. N factorial. What is n factorial? N factorial is a number, or n factorial is when number is divided by all the numbers less than n minus 1, n minus 2 and up till 1. So n factorial is n into n minus 1, n minus 2 and so on till 1. So what I can get from here is n factorial is divided by all the numbers less than or equal to this number n. It is divided by all these numbers. It can divide by all these numbers which are less than n. So n factorial, in my question it is given, assume that n factorial is divisible by this number is n factorial factorial. Okay, so let's just assume n factorial as some k. So it is given that n factorial is divided by k factorial. What I can write is, if a number or n factorial is divided by k factorial, so I can write k factorial will be less than or equal to this number. Only then we can divide this number. K factorial must be less than or equal to this number n. Now consider one thing. I have to take k as n factorial is k. Now this factorial or will be divisible by this factorial. N factorial is n minus 1, n minus 2 and up till 1. So it will be divisible by all the numbers less than or equal to n. So I can say this k or n factorial will be divisible by all the numbers less than this. So n factorial is k. I can write this k as n will be this number, n factorial will be less than or equal to k, because in that case this n will divide all these numbers, n into n minus 1 and n minus 2. So what can I write is, so clubbing these two relations, what will I get? N will be less than this k and k will be less than or equal to n will be less than or equal to k factorial. This n will divide k factorial. This n will always be less than or equal to k factorial. Okay, so it will divide this k factorial. Now I have to check the options. First, n factorial is greater than n. No, definitely incorrect option, because n factorial, or what is n factorial? N factorial is k. This k will be less than or equal to n always. It cannot be greater, so it is incorrect. Second, b, n is less than equal to n. Yes, from this case I can write n as less than or equal to n. And n factorial is less than equal to n. Yes, k is less than equal to n. So this seems to be correct option. This is incorrect. Let's see. Option number third, C, n is less than n. Just let's check if is it the case always, because this relation is correct. N factorial is always less than or equal to n. Let's check n less than n. So is it always the case? Let's assume n is 2 and n is also 2. In this case, n factorial becomes 2 factorial. And here n factorial is also 2 factorial is 2 and factorial is also 2. This is also 2. In this case, n is equal to n and also n factorial divisible by n factorial. So I cannot always assume s is less than n. No, in this case n is equal to n, or small n is equal to capital N. So this option is ruled out. Option D, n is divisible by n. Let's check if it is the case. Let's assume n as 7 and smaller n as 3. In this case, n factorial, which is 7 factorial, is divisible by n factorial. n factorial is 3 factorial and 3 factorial is 6, and 6 factorial, in this case n factorial is always divisible by n factorial factorial, or 7 factorial is divisible by 6 factorial, but n is not divisible by this smaller n. So n is divisible by n, this is incorrect. Correct answer option is